Hello everybody, welcome to Wild Boy Movies, the place to talk movies, and today we're going to be reviewing Scream 6, the sixth installment of the Scream franchise. Right now I'm going to have some information up on screen for you to read, like director, runtime, and PAA rating. All of that will be up on screen for you to read right now. But be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below your thoughts on Scream 6. But without further ado, let's get right into the pros. Alright, starting off, I want to go ahead and talk about how this movie goes ahead and subverts the Scream formula, because that has been something that I've been mentioning throughout my reviews from Screams 3 through 5, is that they do something with the Scream formula and mix it up for these movies, and 6 is no exception. And I think this one right here is a prime example of them doing a lot of different things to mix up the Scream formula. Like, for one, the opening scene. Now, yeah, it is like an opening kill. We do get a kill in it, but what makes this opening scene different from any of the previous Scream movies is that we got an early unmasking. Like, that was just crazy to think about. The first time watching that movie, I was like, no way they actually did that. I was very curious to see how they would go ahead and play out for that for the rest of the movie, but no, this early unmasking Ghostface Killer, played by Flash Thompson, by the way, Tony Revolori, does end up getting killed in that opening sequence towards the end of that scene. But I was very curious to see how they would go ahead and go about having Tony Revolori's character involved throughout the rest of the movie, with us knowing right away that he is one of the Ghostface Killers. But I just really liked how they went ahead and did that subversion. And I also like all of the characters that we got in this movie. You of course got the surviving 4 characters from the last movie who called themselves the Core 4, Sam, Tara, Chad, and Mindy. All of them were really good in this movie, and this movie definitely solidified these 4 would be like very good characters to take over the legacy that we got from the previous 3 characters of the series, Sidney, Gale, and Dewey. And I also like the chemistry that they had together. Like, I just really like seeing whenever the Core 4 would interact with one another. And it sucks that this movie would essentially be the last time that we saw Sam and Tara in this franchise because of some behind the scenes controversy with the 7th movie. But I just really like the interaction between the Core 4 and the Core 4 members themselves. Like, I think Sam has a lot of great stuff going on in this movie, and I think that Melissa Barrera does a great job in the acting side for Sam Carpenter. And we also got these newer characters that we got in here, like Ethan Landry, played by Jack Champion. Yes, that Jack Champion who was on the planet Pandora in the Avatar series. I thought it was pretty good in this movie, and really my favorite of the new characters was Annika. I kind of really liked her character, but these legacy characters coming into this movie, Gale and Kirby, I really liked how they were involved with this movie, and I really like seeing Kirby back because, yeah, she was a huge fan favorite character from Scream 4, so it was great to see not only that she's still alive, but we got to see her again in the series. But the biggest thing that a lot of people notice with this movie is that Sidney Prescott is not in it at all. Now, that was because of some pay disputes behind the scenes, so she's not in this movie. And I really thought they handled not having Sidney Prescott in the movie very well. Like, it definitely gave way for these newer characters to really shine and make their stamp in the franchise, and great characters that we would have wanted to see later on in the series. And I also like the explanation for why Sidney Prescott was not in this movie. They didn't come out with some stupid reason why she's not there. No, they gave a reason why Sidney's not here, and that was she just wants to protect her family, her husband Mark, not Mark Kincaid, and her kids, just keeping them safe. Like, I felt like that was a pretty good explanation for why Sidney Prescott is just not involved in this movie. Oh, and going back to subverting the Scream formula, because I forgot to add this in when I made that part of the video, is that we got more than two Ghostface killers in this movie. Now, we usually have two killers in a Scream movie. The only exception was Scream 3, where it was only Roman Bridger. But this movie, they actually went ahead and gave us multiple Ghostface killers in this movie. That is just more than the usual two. And I think that was something that some Scream fans were wanting whenever Scream 6 was coming out. They were like, give us more than two Ghostface killers in this movie. Like, I just thought it would be something cool for the movie. And yeah, I thought it would be something interesting for them to do. And yeah, they definitely went ahead and gave us three Ghostface killers in this movie. And they were Detective Bailey and her children, Quinn and Ethan. Like, I really like these family of Ghostface killers in this movie, and I kind of really was not that big on like the motive, because it was just a recycled motive from Nancy Loomis's motive of just getting revenge for the death of their child, Billy Loomis. Here, they just want revenge for the death of their son and brother, Richie Kirsch, but I'll actually go ahead and take that motive over the Nancy Loomis motive, just because I really did end up liking the character of Richie Kirsch a lot from the previous Scream movie, and I just really like how they went ahead and expanded Richie's love for the Stab movies with that shrine that contains actual relics from the real life murders involved with the Ghostface killings. Like, that I just found to be rather interesting as well. And I also really like how they went ahead and fixed a major complaint with the previous Scream movie, Scream 5, where that movie had like barely to no chase sequences at all in that movie. Here in Scream 6, we get plenty of chase sequences in this movie, and all of them I found to be really good. Like, you got the apartment chase between Ghostface and Gale. That one was just pretty good. And also, finally hearing Ghostface call Gale Weathers, like, that was something interesting that never even happened in the franchise before that point. You also got the bodega chase sequence, which I also thought was really good in here, and I actually do like this Ghostface wielding a shotgun. Like, it kind of would have been like jarring if he had it throughout the entire runtime, but no, it was just for that one scene, and I thought it looked very cool as well. But the best chase sequence that we got has to be that latter scene that we got in the movie, which caused the death of Annika. Like, that latter scene was just done very well, and probably was the best chase sequence of the entire movie. I also really like the New York setting of this movie. Like, it was something very different for the series. Yeah, we kind of had like a city-like area, but that was just in Hollywood. We didn't go into like LA or that side of that area. But no, here we're in the Big Apple, where there's tall buildings, lots of people, and I thought they used New York City to their advantage with this movie, and I just thought it worked very well. And also, the kills in this movie were pretty gruesome. They do not hold back with these kills at all. Now, I'm not gonna say that it's as gruesome or more gruesome than something like Scream 4, but they definitely do not hold back on the kills in this movie. Like, definitely in that opening scene, we got someone with the decapitated head in the fridge, and we do get to see some close-ups of like the knife going into the victims, and you get like close-ups of that. Like, that definitely was just like pretty brutal of the Ghostface killer in this movie, and it definitely was one of the more brutalest Ghostface killers that we got throughout the entire series. So yeah, I thought they did a really good job with this Scream movie, and I thought it was a really great follow-up to that last movie, which I think is one of the best of the series. But there are some things holding this movie back from being as good as that fifth movie. So let's go ahead and get into the cons. Now, I already went ahead and mentioned the motive in this movie being very similar, or not very similar, a repeat formula of that Nancy Loomis motive. That was just kind of like a little nitpick that I had, but like I mentioned before, I'll take that motive in Scream 6 over the motive in Scream 2, just because of the connection to one of my favorite Ghostface killers, Richie Kirsch. But some of the other nitpicks I have in this movie is one similar to what I had in Scream 5, where that movie went ahead and had a talented actor, Cal Gallner, and just wasted that character. that same thing could be said to Tony Revolori and Samara Weaving. I feel like that those two probably should have had a bit more to do in this movie, but I was just happy to see them in this franchise. And because I know a lot of people were kind of wanting Samara Weaving to be in this movie whenever it was announced that Matt Bettinelli opened a Taller Gillette would direct. And Tony Revolori, like, it was just very jarring to see one of the ghost faces in this movie, like, from that opening scene, be Flash Thompson from the MCU. Like, that was just jarring. But I think the biggest con that I have with Scream 6 is that they really don't utilize Halloween at all in this movie, because this movie is set around the Halloween season, and with that, I definitely think that would have been for a great movie with our characters wondering if the ghost face that they're standing in front of is just some random guy in a costume for Halloween, or if it's the actual killer. Like, that would have been something I really would have enjoyed in this movie, give sort of like a question of whether or not this ghost face that we're looking at is the actual killer or just some random citizen in New York just dressing up for Halloween. But they really don't utilize that at all in this movie, and I kind of wish that they did. But those can be just labeled as nitpicks and small complaints that I have with this movie, because this movie is just so good and enjoyable that I could just push aside those nitpicks. Now, I might be a bit biased here because this movie is kind of an important movie to me, because this was my first R-rated movie that I saw in theaters, and I did meet one of the actors from this movie in real life and was the first celebrity that I ever met, which you can see with this Funko Pop right here, signed by Quinn Bailey herself, Liana Liberato. Should also have a picture of when I met her on the screen right now. But yeah, even with those little bias that I have with this movie, I still find it to be a really good and enjoyable movie, and I just really like what they were going ahead and setting up for that 7th movie before everything just got abandoned and we're getting what we were going to be getting this weekend as of me posting this video. But I just really think that Scream 6 is just a very good and enjoyable entry of this series. So for my scorecard, I'm gonna give Scream 6 4.5 stars, with the score out of 10 being 9.8 out of 10, with the percentage being 98%, with a grade of A+, with my final verdict being a very good follow-up. But that was my review of Scream 6. I want to hear from you guys. What are you guys' thoughts on this movie? Go ahead and leave me your thoughts down in the comment section. And while you're at it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. And have a great day.